This is so funny. The point of life is to not finally work it out, rather be in wonder at what you haven't.
Exactly. Like we're so focused on knowing everything that we do every day. Like, okay, we have to have this, we have to have that. Why not go through the world thinking sometimes like, I don't know anything about this. Let me learn about that.
Yeah.
Right. But I think too often that we do the opposite, where if we don't know something, we just reject it. So live and wonder. I love that. Final thoughts?
Maybe I'll have a child, but not for a couple of years.
I don't think I really sold her, but that's okay because I don't want her to have a child for a couple of years. Although, like, I'm really good with her cat. So she's like, oh, you look like you really want a grandchild. I'm like, I just like the cat. Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Welcome to Her Unshakeable Confidence with dynamic mother-daughter duo Simone and Olivia Knego, where they discuss the secrets of transformation and how to build bold confidence and unwavering resilience. From intimate conversations with inspiring guests to sharing their personal journeys of triumph and challenge, Simone and Olivia create a supportive space where every woman is encouraged to rise above her fears and love the woman in the mirror. Tune into Her Unshakeable Confidence and join this special journey of connection and growth. It's like catching up with old friends who inspire you to be bravely and uniquely you.
Welcome to this week's episode of Her Unshakeable Confidence. I'm Simone Knego.
And I'm Olivia Knego.
And we're back. So we got a little slacky over the last couple of weeks because, life's been busy.
Yeah.
I had a kid that got married.
I started my second semester of law school.
Yeah, it's been a little busy.
Cat.
She got a cat. I actually like the cat, and I'm allergic to cats, but I like the cat. And you know what? The cat likes me. The cat's like, okay, infatuated with me. She's like following me.
Grandma.
I'm a grandma.
Two animals.
Yeah, I know. I have a.
This is my brother that just got married. He has a dog, and now that we have a cat.
Yeah, but grandma's not like the right name for me. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, that could be a whole episode.
I know, right? So we're not going to do that today, but I'm definitely not grandma for the cat and dog. I'm just cool. That's it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, good to know.
You're welcome. So we thought we would just do a catch up because we basically posted a couple of guest episodes, which they were amazing episodes, but back to back. But usually we have our own episode. And so we're like, okay, so what are we going to do this time? And we thought we would really just kind of catch up on life because there's been a lot. So your brother got married on December 27th in Pacific Palisades. Let's just break that down right there.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. It's been, the start of the new year has been crazy. The fact that we were there and then it's gone.
Yeah, really kind of crazy that, although it was interesting because I was able to use Google Maps. What's it called? Not Google Maps. Google Earth to kind of see. I was kind of like a bit psycho about it for a bit because his wife's parents live there and they had to evacuate. And I was like so worried that their house was going to be destroyed. So I constantly was looking at whatever the maps were to make sure that they were okay. And fortunately they're okay. Her grandmother's house is okay. It's unbelievable what happened there. But looking at the maps, like where they got married in Pacific Palisades, the fire, it looks like it literally came up to the fence of the park where they were married, but it didn't burn the park down, which is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is just crazy that this is the way we're starting the new year. And it's been how many days? Like 20 days since it started, and they're still not fully contained, and more fires keep popping up.
Yeah. We talked about this before, how living in Florida, we obviously with the hurricanes, that's a different level. So when you have to evacuate for a hurricane, you have some days. You can choose to leave. You can choose to not. You can pack up your car. You can drive away.
It's also just like not as definite, I guess, in the way
of,
like, destruction. Like if you there's a 50-50 chance if a hurricane hits your town that your house would get destroyed versus if a fire is coming down your street, your house is going to get burned.
Yeah. And it's like the absolute of it. So with a hurricane, you leave or you don't, because some people don't. But when you evacuate, obviously we've taken like our most important valuable items other than our humans, because we always take our humans with us, hello, and our dogs, because those are the most valuable. But when we come back, the assumption is that there's going to be something left. So, I mean, even if our roof gets torn off but there's still, I mean, there's been occasions where houses have been totally swept away by the water.
It's not frequent.
Yeah.
It completely gets, like, there's nothing there.
But with a fire, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Like every single item. I watched this one video of this couple that came back to their house, and their only focus was on finding her wedding ring. And that was the only thing. Like they went through the dust that was left, the ashes that were left, and they found her ring. And that was the only thing that they really wanted to find, and that she was like devastated that she didn't take it when she left. But like, what do you do in those moments, right? How do you decide what you're going to take? And I actually talked about this with my friends that I have a list of the things that I'm going to take when it comes to a hurricane, but that's a different story than a fire. Like you just don't have that time to really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Think about it ahead of time. Like if something was coming at you, like what would you take? What are the most important things that you need? Like for me, obviously anything that's valuable in terms of jewelry, money, but I'm sorry.
I have that.
Well, you have a little bit of that.
Everything I value, I wear.
Okay. So you take that with you. But really, it's the documents that are so important, like the adoption documents for the kids, the birth certificates. Yeah, I mean, most things are replaceable.
Well, here's what I grabbed when my building caught on fire last summer.
Oh, yeah. True.
I grabbed my work computer. I grabbed my regular computer. I grabbed my wallet. I think that was it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
To me, it's like I have, obviously, the things we have a safe in the house. And so everything that's in there comes with me. But a lot of what's in there are the documents because, sure, you can get a new passport. You can get a new birth certificate. But for me, the adoption documents for your siblings, like that's key to me because I think some of those are really hard to replace because, they were done before.
I mean, it's also really hard to get new passport and new any of the above. Like,
yeah,
like if they're replaceable, it's hard to do. And if you have none of them, it's impossible to do.
Yeah.
My friend is going through this predicament of getting a new ID, but she lost her old ID and no one lives in the old state anymore. And so it's like a pain in the butt to do. So like, yeah, I would say grab all of your documents and everything in that sense.
And I know it's something we don't want to think about, but I think you do have to think about it. I think you have to think about like, okay, if something happened, like what would I grab?
Well,
and
also maybe, I don't know how tested these things are, but like you got those fireproof filing cabinets. Are those the thing those work?
They're only rated for a certain number of hours. So if you have a fire that's like burning your house for 10 hours, it's not going to last. I think they're like rated for like 3 hours.
So I don't honestly know how fires work then. Because how could a fire burn your house for 10 hours?
Well, because I think the ember, I don't know either. I'm not like a fire marshal, but like the embers just don't stop, right? And a lot of
probably make those better than TBH.
Yeah. Hello. There's a big business out there for someone who wants to start it to make fire cabinets last for
actually fireproof, like where you wouldn't have to even, it's fine. Like I don't even have to panic. Everything was in the fire cabinet. Like why is that not, huh? I'm confused.
So it's interesting because we were having this discussion too about how like with the kids' adoption documents and that I should keep them like in a safe deposit box at a bank, which would make sense for a hurricane. But when it comes to a fire, right. And that was a very common thing that happened there where the banks burned down. So therefore, when you think about it, when you go into those vaults, I don't know what it's rated for, but all I can say is that take it with you. Take it with you. Like just have a plan that you take it with you.
Boxes for these days. Like if you just don't have a safe in your home would be my general
guess. But it would make sense for me in Florida to put stuff in a safety deposit box and a place that's not like beyond hurricane rating, so that you can.
Yeah.
I don't have to flood.
The idea of having like that you're just putting that into someone else's responsibility. And I mean, like from a legal standpoint, like that's a fine thing to do. It just would also freak me out. Like, because then they take on the responsibility of it's not you.
I mean, a big part for me is I like control of I like control in general.
Yeah.
Hello, we know that. But especially when it comes to that stuff, because I feel like I've put in so much work to these documents and stuff that I don't want to leave them anywhere else but like in my own control.
So, I mean, that's been devastating. Just all the fires. It's, I mean, horrifying to watch, honestly.
But let's go to the good stuff. So Jacob got married.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, wedding number one out of the...
He's legally married.
Yeah, he's legally married.
I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they're legally married. So they got married December 27th, but then they're doing their big wedding with their friends and other family members in Spain in June. And we did a party at our house last month for our local friends because...
Weekend.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. This month. Sorry. This month. What month is it? It's January. Okay.
But it's so close to being February.
I know. Okay. So our friends were like kind of disappointed that they weren't going to be invited to Spain. So we were like, okay, let's do a party. A good friend of mine said, Simone, do a party in Sarasota. So we did a party in Sarasota for our Sarasota friends. And I think it was pretty much a blast.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah. Okay. The caricaturist at it was like a little funky.
I didn't get one done. I think that's just so funny, so that I did not do one.
Yeah. So we did one. I didn't look like me. Dad looked like him. Like he did. Your dad looks like pretty accurate, but it was funny. They said like the guy did a really good job with the men, but not so much with the women, whatever. So, but it was a really fun party.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So that was really exciting. So that was like a big beginning to our new year. And then, I mean, we got the hats at the end of last year.
Oh, I mean,
hello, hats.
Yeah, the hats are cool. It snowed in Nashville.
Yeah, it snowed in Nashville, and it's cool. I mean, we're in Nashville.
Oh,
hello, we're in Nashville together. How cool is that? That's why we're recording together. I'm here for work, so I'm visiting. I'm staying with her. It's not visiting. I'm like, girl, can I have your second bedroom while I'm here? Yeah. No. So we're like, okay, we'll record in person, wearing our hats. And then the hat disappeared. I think the cat took the hat. The cat took the hat.
Cat in the Hat.
And then we found the hat. So we're all good.
The Cat in the Hat's a weird movie.
We're going to bring it to that.
Oh my God.
The Cat in the Hat, let's bring it to that.
I was just going to justify it off the bat that The Cat in the Hat's a weird movie. Not the animated, the live action.
Well, it's kind of psychedelic, right?
Yeah, but why is it targeted towards children then? I guess a lot of children's movies like feed on this psychedelic theme, but like that is too much for me because it's gross.
Well, think about it. So many kids' movies are really not appropriate for children. A lot of the things they say.
Yeah, kids actually knew what was happening.
Yeah, they have no clue. Like the jokes are like almost inside jokes for adults.
But that one to me is like nightmare producing because it's I don't know the actor. It's the guy that plays Shrek, I think, actually.
I have no idea.
But, just like full fursuit, not into it.
Well, he's getting paid to do that, so why not?
Also, it gave me so much anxiety. The idea of destroying the house.
Oh, that was
oh my
quite, yeah.
God, I hated that.
Yeah.
Can show you the type of kid I was.
Well,
I was a messy kid, but like the whole idea of like destroying the house and like it's on the edge of time. Like we're about to do it. We're going to put it back. Or are we going to do it? Or we're not going to do it? I hate that. Hate it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that was pretty stressful. Okay, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I mean, how do we get to Cat in the Hat from our hats?
I'm an exchange student.
Yeah. So we have an exchange student. She's great. So people are like, oh, yeah, 6 kids. And you said yes to an exchange student. Why not? So
you don't have 6 kids living at home.
No, I don't. You know what? It doesn't matter if you have 6 kids living at home or 6 kids out there. Like, there's still every day that you have to do things that are very stressful.
Like what?
Like when you call and say that you're super stressed about this exam and I feel like I'm in the moment, or that you're, whatever, you have this going on. And then your sister texting because she's stressed about this. And then, me not being home and I'm away for work and the dogs are taking a shit in the house. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, walk the dogs more. So it becomes very stressful, all of it mixed together. And Noah's trying to get his grade up on the ACT, and Jacob's waiting for stuff with his job, and there's just every day there is things to stress about. So it doesn't matter if your kids are at home or if they're out. Like, we need to give ourselves more grace as parents, because
When do you
it is
stress about your kids then?
I don't think you stopped stressing about your kids. I mean, it's different levels, right? When they're little, like, you just want them to like poop on the potty, and you want them to make friends and like those kinds of things. And
the wanting to make friends thing is something that you keep throughout life for your kids.
Yes, because you want your kids to feel accepted and loved. And so, I mean, that's huge across the board. So when your kids move to a new town and they don't have a partner, that's stressful, right? To think every day, like when your sister moved to Cardiff, like, does she have people that she's going to hang out with? Is she going to be completely alone? And, she's done a really good job, but still, it's stressful. And then when Noah goes off to college next year, is he going to find his people, right? I mean, you don't stop stressing as a parent, unfortunately. Yes, it is. Just multiply it by 6, girl.
Is described to me, no one talks about the good parts of it. So it's like, yeah, like what? Like, why should I do this? The bad in my head outweighs the good.
There's no bad. It's just stress. But oh my gosh, the good is like the incredible part of just having that. I mean, there's every part of it that's good, right? Just the seeing you grow up, seeing you go from like the kid who was just, I mean, you said the funniest things in a New Yorker accent when you were little, and watching you grow and find your people and find the person that you want to be with, and, really love what you're doing. It's huge. And I would do it 6 times again, 100%. Doesn't matter how stressful the little things are. It's the big things. And it's just like fills your heart with something. When they say that and of course there are people out there that don't have children, so this is specifically aimed at a parent. Like, when I married your dad, I thought I knew what love was. And then I had children, and it was such a different part of love where and not that I wouldn't give anything for your dad, but it is like in any moment, I would give anything for my kids. And again, not that I wouldn't get everything for Rob, but it's just such a different thing. It's like this different response that you have when you have children, that you just feel like your heart is so full, and you never imagined it could be like that. I still haven't sold you.
No, I'm thinking about that. I mean, it's obvious. Like,
do they drive you crazy?
Well,
do
no,
they like, well,
tired feeling? I'm like, what are most parents? Your kids.
So I think that comes later. I would say that majority of parents, when their kids are little, okay, baby stage, take a step back there, because for some people, the baby stage is not what they expected.
That I read, a lot of Reddit posts and whatever. I think the baby stage, you have moms going through postpartum, whatever that looks like for them, which is such a real and a recognized.
Oh, it's huge. I can tell you, I had postpartum.
Yeah. I mean, wherever, if that's anxiety, depression, otherwise. And then you have dads who are, this is their first rodeo too, and they didn't have the experience of even growing the child, so they have to get that connection as well. So baby stage is really difficult.
It is, yeah.
Beyond just taking care of the baby.
So I could tell you I don't think so much with you. I think by then I was kind of like a little bit more like I understood what was happening. But with both Jacob and Emma, I didn't want your dad to like touch them. I was like, and everything was exaggerated. It's kind of crazy, but like all of their features were exaggerated. Their eyes were bigger than they really were. Their nose was like, it just was some kind of system imbalance.
Mental
health? No, I didn't. No, because I was a kid. I mean, I was 24 when I had your brother. Like, I didn't know this. I mean, what I know now, 100%, I would say for you guys, yes, 100%. Because when you struggle and all you're doing all day long, especially at the beginning, because even if you're a working mom, you're home during that beginning period, and your whole focus is just taking care of this little creature, and you're, you know, you're, 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 you're taking care of this little creature, and you're Like, am I feeding them enough? You know, like, are they eating enough? Like, are they clean enough? Is this sterilized? Are they going to get sick from this? Like, literally your thoughts just don't stop.
Yeah.
And you feel not enough. You really do. You feel like you're going to break them, and like and guess what? You don't break them, right? You just, but yeah, I would 100% if I, going back to it, like I would say that I would definitely say from the beginning, right after you have a child, you should have some kind of therapy,
regular check-ins,
or a mom's group, something that you understand that you're not alone in this, because I felt very alone in that. And it had nothing to do with your dad. He had no clue.
Yeah,
I was like, don't touch the baby. He's like, what?
I think a lot has changed, I would assume. And just in general with mental health, but like within that, like the postpartum mental health community, to the point that it's way more recognized now. But it's something that definitely does scare me about the idea of giving birth.
I think that, but again, what you just said is that we're much more aware of it now, and we understand like the importance of really taking care of ourselves and having our spouse understand that, geez, like this is a big deal. Like it's not like, oh my gosh, we just feel overwhelmed. It literally is a chemical imbalance after you have a child, that you go into a state where you feel like you're not doing enough, or you go into this really dark state about yourself. And I think that it's so important that we understand that going into a pregnancy, so that you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm completely alone in this. And that, I think that's such a huge thing, is that in so many parts of our lives where we feel like we're alone. So going back to the whole thing about selling you on having a kid. I don't want you to have a kid right now. You're 22. Hello. No having kids right now.
I can very balance loss without a child. But I don't know. Shout out to the parents that do like or any sort of schooling on top of raising a kid or even working a job, because I don't know why, to me it's more remarkable. And like I was working parents as well, but when you're in school, you can't just leave it at the door.
No,
when you can with work.
Yeah.
So it's like, and your schedule is not as definite. I don't know. I think it's really incredible, the parents that do it. Like, shout out to them.
Yeah, 100%. But
I
mean, going back
on a kid.
Yeah, I just think that what changed my life the most was having all of you. Like, and every single one of you was so different, whether biologic or adopted. Like, every single piece was so different and added so much to my life. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I wouldn't have had you guys. And so I wouldn't change it for the world. And just understanding that, like, none of that is easy. I mean, none of life should be easy, right? If you're growing, it's not easy.
Well, I want to go back to the question, what if you don't like your kids? So we talked about baby.
Yeah.
And you're in your toddler, you tend to like them because they're cute and stuff, even though they annoy you.
They're so cute when they're toddlers. Oh my gosh, the things that you guys would say. I need my gloves. I need my gloves. I'm like, your gloves? I need my gloves. Yeah. I mean, I want Lemon Wade. I was like, lemonade? Yeah, Lemon Wade. I was like, okay. I mean, so like those things are just like so endearing. But I don't know. I've never not liked my kid. I mean, there are moments where I was like, oh my God, you guys are assholes. Like, literally, like there's not one. But if you're a parent out there and you tell me you've never thought that about your child, you're not telling me the truth. Because
okay.
Yeah, no, seriously. There are moments where you're like, oh my gosh, how is this possible that this child that I raised is behaving like this or responding to me like this, right? But that's just part of it. They have to learn, they have to spread their wings. They have to learn how to deal with situations and confrontations and understand like what matters and what doesn't. So there's no part of that that's easy. I can't imagine ever truly disliking my children. I just can't. But I don't know. My question is if that happens in your relationship, is it because you're not putting in the work? And I don't have an answer for that.
That person.
But where does that stem from?
I do think a lot of it, like, once again, referencing back to stupid Reddit posts and parents. Like, I read one recently that was like, my wife thinks I should spend more time connecting with my girls over my boys, but I just don't like anything they like. Like, they like princesses and tea parties. Like, okay, you're a bad father. You need to connect with your kid. That is not their responsibility.
My friend.
That's here. Our responsibility.
Yeah.
Do the things that you like. It's your responsibility to find something that you guys can enjoy in common. But at first, when they're in their princess years, you're going to put on a princess dress.
Yeah. Pretty princess. You play the game.
Yeah.
You wear the thing. You do all the things because what do you want for your daughters? You want to build them up so that they feel confident in their skin.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to interact with them, like, what's even the point?
No, I agree. But I do think there's something to be said. Like, I don't have anything in common with my kid. I do think that just takes, you need to spend some more time developing that relationship or finding a skill that you guys can start together.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about your brother, Noah, for a minute. So he is Mr. Gamer, right? He would spend 24 hours of every day gaming if he could. And if I'm not there, being honest, he probably is because there's no one to tell him, like, not to do that. But one of the things that I'm really proud of is that when he is in a group setting, he is like Mr. Sociable, right? Mr. Social.
Pretty impressive.
So, just at this party last week, he was out there for 6 hours, like talking to everybody.
So envious in him, and maybe that comes from his being on the spectrum, is that he doesn't have the capacity to feel socially awkward.
He doesn't.
And
yep.
I hesitate so much in social relationships and settings just because what if? And he doesn't have that hesitation. And it's like, it definitely is helped with his social skills, not having that hesitation or like fear of the awkward holding him back.
Yeah, and we've worked so hard on just getting him to understand how to interact socially, but then not having, like what you said, not having that fear. He is like amazing when it comes to social settings because he can, we've taught him the skills, like what you need to do. And then he just goes from there and he'll go up to anybody and have a conversation. And that's huge because for most of us, we stand in the corner waiting for waiting for someone to come talk to us. And it really is a gift that he has. So the things that might drive me crazy on some days where I'm like, oh my God, get off your computer. But when we put him in a situation and say, hey, you know what? We're here. We're doing this. You're interacting. Like, he's all in.
He's become he's always been a good kid, obviously, whatever. He's a younger brother. But he has become just a fun person to be around. He tries things that I would never have expected.
I mean, not food. He does not try food.
But occasionally.
Yeah, well, once every 16 years. But yeah, no, he is very... I mean, I really enjoy being around him. And I would tell you that for the parents out there that struggle with that for a long time, I thought, oh my gosh, how is this going to work? Like there are so many things that he struggles with. How are we going to move forward on this? And we just kept going. And we just kept putting him in situations where he had to interact. And we just kept saying, like, you can do this. And this is important. And all the different things. And oh my gosh, it worked, right? So I think it's the part of like not giving up and saying, oh, my kid will never be able to do that. Okay, that's not true. Yes. I mean, he has so many strengths and like really not, again, I think so many times we focus on our weaknesses. Yeah. We focus on our children's weaknesses. Why? Like, focus on the things we can do. Focus on the things they can do.
Also refining their strengths. And in the way of Noah, he's always been sociable. I mean, one of the reasons we struggled to get him the diagnosis was because he could make eye contact.
Yeah. I was like, wait, hello, this is a spectrum.
It was just more along the lines of refining those social skills and like teaching. Just like teaching.
Yeah. So I just think that.
What is your favorite thing about your other kids? Like, just grow into, I guess.
Oh, so many things. So
Millie, because she's at her stage right now.
Yeah. So Millie is 17. I mean, I love the fact that she just goes for it. She has no fear. Like, again, she doesn't not want me to tell her anything, but she really does. She just is putting herself out there. Like all these writing contests that she's applied to.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And like she just won an award for something for writing for school.
She is very opinionated.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that people use that as an insult.
Yeah, that's not an insult.
Opinionated people are the best people because that means you actually care about something.
Yeah. You stand for something. When you just agree with everything,
So don't
your voice doesn't matter.
Oh, you're so opinionated as an insult. No.
And it's not like being opinionated, being an asshole, but having an opinion and standing
for your grounds, bro.
Yes.
I'm not
like
just gonna-
standing up for what you believe. I think it's huge. And I think that each one of you guys has amazing qualities and traits that you bring forward. I mean, Emma is like super kind and caring, and she overthinks everything. And, you are very analytical. You're very, you stick to, when you have an opinion, you stick to it, but you don't just have an opinion, you get the facts to back it up, right?
Yeah.
And your brother has turned into this, your oldest brother has turned into this amazing, caring human that I would tell you when he was in high school, I would have never seen his transformation to where he is today, right? Like, I mean, so I think all of you have, yeah, I mean, Ari?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ari, I can't even tell you, like, his transformation. So, he has severe dyslexia, and he's like killing it in college, like killing it. And he's
so invested in investments, actually, which I find very fascinating that he's like really taking an interest in that.
Yeah, I mean, the books that he's reading, and he's reading them, like he will listen to them on Audible, but he'll also read along with them. The Millionaire Next Door, like things that really interest him, not because he just wants to be rich, but he wants to understand the process behind being what he considers successful.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that 2 years ago, when we talked about college, he said, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And I said, what's your plan? Well, I don't have one. I said, okay, well, if you don't have a plan, then you're going to college for a year, and then we can discuss after that. And he went off to college, and he killed it. Like, he really did. And he's put in the work. He puts in the work every day. Never like what I expected to happen. And maybe that's a horrible thing to say, but I'm just so impressed by each and every one of you, how you've stepped up to whatever you're doing in your life. And it's no credit to me. It's no credit to Dad. It's credit to yourself, right? Like, it's just that, like, I feel like we both have created like a loving household that says, like, do what you want to do. Like, when I grew up, it was like, here, this is what you're going to do because this is what we say you're going to do. And I truly believe we're in the mindset that you have to love what you do. It's okay to change your mind. And we're here to support you. I mean, we're going to work until we're 95 because you guys keep on changing your fucking minds. But yeah,
pretty solid mine.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah, I mean, I think that is such an important thing as parents, is that we're here to support, and it doesn't always go like this. Has nothing to do with how we started this conversation, which is hilarious. This was a check-in, guys. This was a check-in. So
I actually think this turned up to be a great conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. But I think that, for the parents out there that are struggling with your kids, that you feel like you can't find the connection, there is a connection.
Yeah.
You have to take the time and say, like, okay,
yeah,
don't make it about you, right? I think so often we're like, oh, well, my kid doesn't want to hang out with me because of this. What do they want to do?
Do what I want to do.
Yeah, what do they want to do? Like, find the connection there, start there, and then move forward. And I think that has served us really well. And be accepting like of all the things, right? If your kid is dating someone and you don't know them well, get to know them, right? If you're,
with the accepting part, I think that's the most important, because of accepting of all of the things in the way, all of that. You don't agree with their college major at first, like, they'll figure out themselves, or like whatever. If you have an experience that you failed, and you can advise them, but they need to fail for themselves and figure out what they want, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. And the example I bring up is like Dad knowing that I wasn't going to end up doing major I was doing in real life. Like, but if he had told me that when I was studying,
don't do it. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to do it.
Really done it and be like, why would you say that to me? Like, what do you know about me? You know nothing about me. But instead, he'd let me make that decision.
Yeah, it's so true. I think that often we put what we struggled with on our children. I mean, I struggled to find out what I wanted to do with my life for years and years and years. But that's my issue. That's not my kid's issue. Yeah. So it's not for me to say, like, for me, my thing to say to my kids is, what do you love? And if you don't know it now, start in something and then change your mind. But don't commit yourself to something that you're going to hate for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Start, figure out a plan, and move forward.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, we're over time. We're over time.
Oh, I had my quote though.
Oh, yeah. Quote it up, baby.
This is so funny.
Okay.
The point of life is to not finally work it out, but rather be in wonder at what you haven't.
Exactly. Like we're so focused on knowing everything that we do every day. Like, okay, we have to have this, we have to have that. Why not go through the world thinking sometimes like, oh, I don't know anything about this. Let me learn about that. Yeah. Right? But I think too often that we do the opposite, where if we don't know something, we just reject it. So live in wonder. I love that. Final thoughts?
Maybe I'll have a child, but not for a couple of years.
I don't think I really sold her, but that's okay because I don't want her to have a child for a couple of years. Although, like, I'm really good with her cat. So she's like, oh, you look like you really want a grandchild. I'm like, I just like the cat. It's okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Her Unshakable Confidence. We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Always remember, you are unshakable.
Thank you for listening to Her Unshakable Confidence with Simone and Olivia Knego. We hope this episode has made your day just a little bit brighter and given you the inspiration you need to confidently go about your week. Always remember to be authentically you. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And feel free to connect with them on Instagram at Simone Knego and at Olivia Knego. Till next time.